Hello, welcome to this series on Raj Yoga. Raj Yoga is a system of spiritual wisdom combined with the practice of specific meditation exercises. Before we go into the meditation practices, it is useful to firstly explain some basic spiritual understandings. And in this video, we will explore in a very simple way a spiritual perspective on who we really are. Generally, we think of ourselves as human beings. However, we use this word often, but maybe sometimes it is not completely understood. The word itself has two parts: human and being. The human part refers to the body and maybe the surroundings of the body, physical relationships, possessions, position, the human personality. But the being refers to the non-physical experiencer, the being of consciousness, the living entity. Often we may think of ourselves just in terms of the body, in terms of the bodily characteristics, in terms of the physical personality. The body is manifest. The body can be perceived through the sense organs. The body can express itself. However, over time, the body changes in size and in shape. All tissue cells of the body are replaced many times in one's lifetime, say of maybe 80 years. And also one can do many different kinds of transplants. One may do even plastic surgery. So organs can be changed, physical appearances can change. Yet we say we are the same person. And so from this we can also deduct that this real self is not the body. The real self, the being, is non-physical, beyond the perception of the five senses. And there are many words that we can use to indicate this non-physical being. One word that is used is the inner being, or higher being, or experiencer, being of consciousness, or soul. The above may be obvious to you, but still we thought it useful to explicitly mention this. Human being, the human part, the body, and the soul. From all of this, we can also understand that there is a physical dimension and there is a non-physical dimension. And in the non-physical dimension, There is the body, and there may be physical objects, maybe a house, there is nature, there is the animal kingdom, there are electronic gadgets, a cell phone, there are dollars and money, and there may be entertainment, there may be sports, all kinds of things. And there is the experiencer, the one who is experiencing this physical world, the one who is experiencing this physical world through the eyes, through the ears, through the senses of the body. The information of this physical world comes to the experiencer or the soul through the body, and through the body the experiencer expresses in the physical world, performs actions, carries out certain decisions. And the experiencer, the soul, has come from the non-physical dimension, entered the physical dimension, travels, journeys through the physical dimension, and at some moment in time leaves the physical dimension. This moment is called birth, this moment is called death. But the experiencer comes into the physical world, experiences the physical world, and then leaves the physical world. Now, this is the experience. And the experience is separate from the experiencer. The beginning and the end of an experience does not mean the beginning or end of the experiencer. And so from this we could understand why in spirituality there is the understanding that the soul transcends the limitations of the body. The soul transcends the limitations of the physical world. And so although we are exposed to the physical world and experience the physical world, we experience this body, but the beginning or the end of this body doesn't mean the beginning or the end of the experiencer. The soul is timeless. The real self, the inner being, transcends the limitations of the body and of the physical world. And from this we can also deduct that the soul is a guest. In the physical world. The soul is a temporary visitor in this physical world. So the inner being is first of all beyond time. The inner being, the soul, is invisible, and the soul is a guest in this world. And now as a guest, we can enjoy this physical world, we can experience the physical world, we can express through the body in this physical world, we can care for things, we can appreciate, but we cannot own anything truly, because we have come, and at the moment of death we cannot take anything physical with us. And so the true attitude of a guest is to be a trustee, to care, to appreciate, but one cannot really own. And therefore, as a guest, we can journey the journey in the attitude of a guest, with this proper understanding of a guest. Truly, we are guests in this physical world. And so, human being means there is a physical dimension, there is a physical part to our existence, and there is a non-physical part. And we are non-physical beings, timeless, eternal beings who have come in this physical world as guests. We travel the journey, and it is best to travel light. And so, as we come to the end of this video, we maybe could offer a suggestion that you reflect on the following. The real self, the inner being, is subtle, invisible, and timeless. And the functions of the subtle, invisible self are taking decisions, making choices, thinking, and every thought creates feelings and emotions. All this happens in the inner world. All these functions are subtle. Another thing to reflect on, or maybe even to meditate on, is to use the image of a tiny star. A star of light in the center of the forehead to indicate the soul, the location of the soul, because the brain is like the first instrument of the soul. Through the brain, the soul operates the body to perform actions, and through the brain, the soul receives the information through the eyes, through the ears, through the other sense organs. And so, to use this image of a tiny star in the center of the forehead, just behind the eyes, and to interact with others also, knowing that they also are souls, tiny stars, eternal beings of light. And the third thing, as a suggestion to reflect on, is to experiment with this attitude of a guest. A guest in this body, a guest on this planet. So enjoy the journey. In our next video, we will explain the practice of Raj Yoga meditation, go more into the aspects of how to meditate, how to deepen your reflections, what is the idea behind it, and we will go a bit more into the depth of this concept of a guest. Thank you.